Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's Fatmata here from Traditionally Inspired Meaningful Art. We are T-minus just a few hours away from takeoff and I'm really excited. Hopefully by the time you're seeing this, I'm already there. All right, I'm already in Guinea with the family doing the things, God willing. So I just wanted to pop on real quickly hours before my flight because I wanted to actually show you a little bit of the things that I got done prior to leaving. Okay, I did do vlog style, vlog a little bit of the process of me like binge sewing some things for my kiddos and making two things for myself. I did a couple of alterations as well, which was really good actually. Things that I had been putting off for some time and some garments that I'm really happy to have back in my wardrobe, and it only took a few minutes to fix them, so I'm happy that I did those and I'll show those to you in a minute. If you're new here, welcome. I hope that you enjoy what you're seeing and check out some of my other videos. I love to talk about the things that I'm making here in my sewing room. All right, so we are fresh-faced. And I'm just so like I'm now, just now, it took me like less than a day before takeoff to be like, I'm feeling the excitement. So that is really good. This is going to be a Friday sews, so thank you so much to Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for starting this hashtag, a reason for us to get together in the sewing community once a week to talk about the things that we've been up to in our sewing spaces. If I sound nasally, it's because I'm congested. I can't tell you what it is about travel, but my body just always wants to give up on me as soon as I tell it we're about to go somewhere. My goodness. So I'll go ahead and pop up on the screen some of the images of the garments prior to me fixing them, because I did take some photos and videos. So the first one is this like yellow background with these teal and red print on it. It's a gorgeous fabric, and I think this dress was made for me possibly about 10 years ago, a little bit over that, when I went back home after graduating from college, and I really love it. I like the added trim details. I love this like fluttery shoulder detail and all of that, but it's extremely tight at the hip, so I definitely know that I'm going to be letting it out at the hip. I would wear this with something underneath it. I don't think I would wear it with this particular top, but just go with it. So I gave myself a bit more slack here in the hip. I took that out. Thankfully, African tailors, Guinea tailors are very generous with the seam allowance. I mean, it's like industry standard, at least 2 inches, both sides, at least. So I had enough seam allowance to definitely take that out. Where I did do additional shaping was in the 2 fisheye darts here in the back. I have 2 fisheye darts here and one here, one here, and one here. And I graded that in a little bit just to scoop out some of that excess fabric right here. Not a ton. I didn't want it to be like skin tight. A lot of things layered under here, so it's not like smooth, but I love this so much more. And it just feels a lot more comfortable because I gotta dance. Yes. Second garment was a pink, burgundy, and green dress that I had made for me as well. And this is really nice, simple bodice with like self-covered buttons down the front and sort of like an A-line skirt. I really like that. It is maxi, but like very long. And the length of it would, in the weather that we're about to experience in Guinea right now, because it's rainy season, would probably just puddle and pool into all of the mud or rain. So what I plan to do is kind of just bring it up a little bit, maybe by 1.5 inches or so, just so that it barely sweeps the floor. And right, so this dress, again, easy peasy. Here's a toe for reference. As you can see, I'm not like, I'm able to put my toes out. The dress is now like just meeting the floor. Do you see that little bit? Do you see what's happening there with that shadow? Do you see how it sort of goes in and out? That means it's not touching the floor. It's not like sitting on the floor as it was before. No pooling, which is great, but I still get a maxi length because when I get back, I'm still gonna want it maxi. So it's great. And one thing the tailors back home have got to get on board with are pockets and dresses. If I get anything made, that's my first request. But yes, this was fixed. Easy peasy. Final dress that I brought down is a gorgeous Lepi fabric, and I really like this dress. It was gifted to me by a family member a couple of years ago, and it has these really nice like embroidered red details added to it. I don't necessarily think that the dress was made for me, but it was a good enough fit for it to be gifted to me, so I'm really, you know, grateful to have it. But what I think I will do is probably scoop out in the fisheye darts as well, and then see if I also need to take some out at the side seam. I didn't want to go too crazy, but I definitely see that the shaping is much better. I prefer this, but I did want it to still be loose enough where I could grow if I needed to, and also it's going to be so hot, so I didn't want it too tight. But yeah, I took it in a little bit. I focused my shaping with the fisheye darts in the back, and I don't even think I took anything in at the sides actually, so that was super quick and easy. So those were the 3 garments that I brought down to the sewing room, and I was able to fix them up. Well, I hope you enjoyed hearing about all those alterations. I was even able to alter my favorite S8875 dress. It had like a little hole under the arms, which I feel like I've recognized maybe twice since I've worn it, but because I always wear a shirt under it, I layer something under it, it's never bothered me too much. But I was like, just alter, like fix it. So I fixed that. And then I have a pair of white trousers that I got from Dress Barn. I thrifted them. They're Dress Barn, and they're lined. It's great because they're a lined pair of white trousers for the summer. They have a really cool tapered leg, very vintage style. I like it. And they've just always like sat really low on me because I just need them to be nipped in a little bit at the waist so that it sits at my natural waist. And I fixed that too. So I was very, very happy to finally just get those projects done. And then I was inspired to sew some new things. Why? Because I'm traveling, of course. So of course I must sew some new things. All right, so I've just been on a cutting spree for the kids. This is probably not advisable, but in my mind's eye, because all of the insides of these are white, I would just use white serger thread and kind of go through all of them. So these are all like pop knit collection from Joann, and some rib knit blue fabric that I have. I have some shorts, some longer like pants, something for my son to sleep in, and this stack is for my daughter. So some shorts and then some of the leggings. This is a vintage Simplicity 4924, and it is like a pants pattern. I think it's meant for wovens, but it is quite wide. Like whenever I make it, it's huge, and my kids are really slim, so I just sort of fold down the middle. It does not have a side seam, so super simple. Got down one of my daughter's like new leggings for length check, because I cut this pattern out maybe 1.5 to 2 years ago maybe. So I just continue to like add length to the pattern, and that's where I am. I don't know if I'll get to sew all of these, some of these, but I wanted them ready. Last night I was struck with inspiration to cut out 4 McCall's 3187s. A number of them I'm hoping to do the built-in shelf bra hack as well. So I have this deep chocolate one, this nice like, it's showing up brighter on camera, but it's like a cranberry, like a deeper almost burgundy color, and then 2 navies. This is a smooth, almost like a lyocell knit, and this is a rib knit, so this will be a bit heavier. So I have those 4. Also going to see if I can get to any of these. It would be nice to have some of the navies, so I will start with the navies, because a number of my garments that I'm taking and packing with me would need an undershirt, and navy would be a good color for them. So I'm really hoping to do that one. Hey, so it is late on Saturday night before our trip, and I am down in the sewing space. I have my stack of shorts, jeggings, leggings that I cut out for the kiddos. And because I'm using the Pop fabric collection, most of them are anyways, from Joann, the inside is white. So I went ahead and just put white serger thread on the serger, and I'm gonna see how many of these I can knock out. I think I cut out like 5 or so out of this fabric, and then I'll switch to navy and then do the final couple that I cut out in a navy rib fabric, and then I will start on my like knit tops, because I have 2 navy ones that I had cut out. So let's see how much of this I can like get into. It is now 11:06 p.m. late, but we just finished packing. My aunt so graciously, she took the kids off of our hands for the evening so that we could like get our final packing done. Have some quick runs to do tomorrow morning. So I'm going to see how many of these or how far I can get here. Hopefully this will be pretty good. I'm going to do all the serger stuff first. If there's like all the top stitching and things that I'll need the sewing machine for, I will leave for an hour or so. All right, so we are about an hour and some change in, so it's just after midnight. But I'm really, really pleased. I was able to use my serger and get through these. So 3 biker shorts, and then 3 of the leggings, and that was incredible. So I'm really, really pleased with that. I went ahead and serged the elastic right on there. I just cut out about 20 inches for the elastic, and then overlapped it and zigzag stitched it by about 1/4 of an inch. So I think the elastic is maybe 19.5 inches or so, which is going to be really nice, fitted, but also comfortable for my daughter's waist. And now what I will do tomorrow, I just went ahead and folded that over for each one. And I am going to pause here on these mainly because for the next step, I think what I'm going to do is on my sewing machine, go ahead and utilize white thread in the top and then change out the bobbins. So I'll actually sew it from the inside, so matching the white thread and zigzag along where the serged edge is, so that on the back side the bobbin color is going to match whatever the outside is. I just find it much easier to pop in different bobbins and change that out than it is to actually rethread the machine. So that's what I'm going to do, and it's going to be easier for me to ensure that I'm catching, you know, the elastic, because I'm going to be sewing it from the inside. So that's what I'm going to do, and then hem the bottoms up. And then I will have 6 little things. So I'm really happy about that. What I think I'm going to do right now, while I still have a bit of energy, is go ahead and switch out my serger thread for navy. I have a couple of the biker shorts and also 2 leggings. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I have cut out 2 shirts. This is my tried and true McCall's 3187. So I am hopeful that I'll get to work on that a little bit. So I have the 3 together. Waistbands ready to be sewn down. I could switch over to the sewing machine, but what I think I'm going to do right now is just keep going while I have the momentum. And let me see if I can get some work done on my long sleeve shirts. Wish me luck. It is late. It's very late, but I'm still feeling the buzz. You know what I mean? It is a new day. I feel good. I just did a deep but quick clean upstairs, and now I'm back to the sewing space where I left off yesterday. I have 2 of my M3187. Ooh, do I know that by heart? 3187 shirts in the navy done. As far as like all the serged bits, and it's going to work well in my wardrobe. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that and the other one that I did out of the rib knit, and all of the leggings and biker shorts that I made yesterday need the elastic top stitched and the feet hemmed. I will report back. I'm going to let you know how all this stuff is going. See you soon. So I'm currently wearing one of them, and this is made out of a really nice ribbed sort of knit. It's a really nice navy color, and I got this from the dead stock section at G Street Fabrics. And then I also had this, it's the same pattern, but the difference would be this one has a neckband. The pattern, they want you to just like fold it under and top stitch it, and or you have this like mock neck collar. I did none of that. So I measured around the circumference of the neckline, and then I think I deducted like 2 inches or 3 inches or something. And that's how I did the neck binding for the top that I'm wearing. For this one, I put in a shelf bra. Now it's navy, so it might be hard to see, but there it is. It's wavy and wonky. The reason why I did that is not necessarily because I feel like I'm gonna get any sort of support from that shelf bra, because I get none, but I did that so that I could have a really, really smooth neckline, and I love that. Now, the neckline did get super wide, so there's that. I wasn't expecting that. That actually upset me quite a bit, but I'll have time to like play with this pattern, and I do think that the slinkier the knit, the more you run into that sort of issue. Had I used this rib knit, I don't think I would have had that issue at all. And then I have this stack, which hopefully you would have seen in like the little vlog section, but I did finish. Look at how much stuff I got done for the kiddos. Look, so I made some joggers as well as leggings for my littles. For the rainbow fabric one that I did, I realized after I cut it out that the fabric was not non-directional. I had just assumed that they would have put the rainbow, you know, like in all different directions. But it was directional. So they're U's, but I'll just tell her it's because her name is Umu. So it's great. Anyways, it's cute. And these are all the 98% cotton, 2% elastane cotton fabrics from the pop section at Joann Fabrics. And I've had these in my stash for some time, and I just am very happy that I finally just said, cut into them, why don't you? I'm really, really happy with how they turned out. I just did a zigzag stitch on the bands and a zigzag stitch on the bottom. I had noticed that on the rib knit fabric and the more slinky fabric that I made my tops out of, that I was getting a lot of skip stitches, and it did not dawn on me that I had never changed my needle on my sewing machine to a needle for knits. It didn't even process until I was at the very end, and I was like, oh, that's probably, oh, I should have changed my needle. Oh. Then for my son, I made him two, like, I mean, we'll call them leggings, but really they're gonna be like pajama bottoms. I realized that I didn't even hem the bottoms, but we're just gonna leave it like that and take this on the trip as is, because it's for sleepwear. I'm not gonna bother myself with that. And my daughter has some biker shorts to wear under her dresses. I feel like that was super productive. So that's what I got made up prior to the trip. Again, these need to go in the suitcase so I don't forget. Last we spoke, I had given you the update on the Zimmermann inspired dress, and I feel like I already gave away my sneak peek, but I'm going to update you anyways for those who are interested. And I was able to complete the gathering stitches and the basting stitches on all of the layers of the dress, so I'm really, really excited about that. I use my pins to mark the sections where I'm going to be connecting. So what I found was that for the longer I think the bottom 3 tiers, I separated them into 8 parts so that I could gather within the 8 sections. And then as I progressed upward, I did, I think, the 4th and 5th layer, I think, in 6 sections. And then I was able to get to about 4 sections for the top 2 layers. Something like that. But I'm really excited. I have even started sort of putting this section together. So lots of things happening there. I know this just looks like colors and fabric, but trust me, lots is going on. And then the big guy is in here, and they're all just ready. They've been attached, they've been gathered. You see the green section is now gathered, attached to the burgundy. So it is ready to be stitched. I did have this like quick impulse of like, I don't want to just show it to you, you know, gathered in the bag. Like, just sew it up real quick so you can show them that you've done something. And then I was like, for what? I'm not rushing. Like, it's fine. So I did spend the painstaking time to actually gather and put that together. And that is huge. It actually takes a lot of work to do that. And I did the same for the really deep blue and the pink sections. And I'm really happy with that. So the pink is going to be the section that attaches to the bodice. So this is like the top portion. The mustard, I think, goes between the blue and the burgundy, if memory serves me correctly. So that's sort of where I am. I think I went ahead and gathered these because I knew it wasn't going to attach to other pieces. So I figured I could do that. It's just something to make some progress on it. So in my last video, when I showed the progress of the Zimmermann inspired dress, I mentioned that I was going to go ahead and do all of the gathering, the basting stitches prior to attaching them, just to make sure I didn't have all of that bulk to kind of run through the machine. Someone made a fantastic suggestion as well in the comments, reminding me to make sure that I go ahead and add the rickrack as I'm going as well, because that's also going to be something that's going to be probably really annoying to try and feed through the machine for all of that length, which I thought was a great idea. It was something that I definitely had thought of at one point, and because I hadn't quite gotten to that stage, I didn't do it, but it was a great reminder because even as I was starting to piece together some of the other things, I was like, whoa, you're absolutely right. I should take my time. I don't need to rush and try and add all the layers because I might want to do that. I might want to go ahead and just do the bottom layers and add the rickrack as I'm going up. So I thought that that was great. So any of these brilliant ideas, keep them coming, guys. And at the same time, for the layers that I've already attached, the orange and green that are down here, I have not serged it yet, like where it's connected. So it's still just, you know, on its own there. And I will do that. And I believe that once I serge it, I'm going to stitch through the serging to kind of hold it in place with the rickrack as well. So that is my plan with that. And I think that that's going to help hold it together and keep it in place. So that's the plan there. I have a lot of really exciting projects waiting for me when I get back, which I showed you all in last week's video. Other than that, I hope you stay creative and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.